Wow, Adrien Broner sent to jail over a probation violation. We gonna talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Listen, I don't know how you found my video, but somehow, some way, you made it. Help others arrive at the content. Smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. This is a great way. Others are looking for similar content. You can help them find it. Reach one, teach one. Let's go. So, according to Cleveland.com, Broner's from Ohio, keep that in mind. They have a Cleveland judge that just threw Adrien Broner in jail for a probation violation. He had a hearing on Tuesday, and the judge had determined that Broner failed to enroll in some kind of alcohol treatment program, which was court ordered, and that was the probation. And this was from allegations that he assaulted a woman in a nightclub. So basically, he had this legal trouble, and this case has been going on for a while, and he had to enter some kind of AA type program as part of the judge's order, and I guess he hasn't done that. So they said, okay, now that you haven't done that, we coming after you, AB, alcoholic beverage. And they're like, nah, that ain't good. So it's getting crazy. Then they say Broner has another hearing October 26th, and it's going to be at the same court, whereas a separate judge is going to decide whether they need to hold him in contempt of court for failing to cooperate with the civil suit. So you can see this is multi-layered for Broner going on right now. He got multiple things at play. And then there was an arrest warrant for Broner. He failed to show up for a deposition, and that was over in the summer of 2021. He didn't show up, so he was in contempt for failing to cooperate with the court orders. So in layman's terms, Broner is just ucking off what the court says. The court says you owe this chick money. The court says, hey, you got to sign up for this, DUI, AA, Alcohol Anonymous type program. You need to show up. And he's not necessarily doing that, right? The lady hired a lawyer, and she has a civil suit against Broner. And based on him, from my understanding, based on Broner not really cooperating, the way the court works is they're just going to proceed with the proceedings, and they're probably going to use you not showing up, you not being cooperative, you not pleading your case and explaining what happened, and they'll use that really to dock you and points against you. So in that civil suit, the chick was able to get $800,000 in damages. Broner, if you remember, there was a video not too long ago, maybe last year, and he was telling the judge that he had to borrow money from his celebrity friends, and he ain't got it. He ain't got the 800K. He's been highly inactive, and this is just one of many things that is going on with Broner in terms of the legal judicial system. Broner hasn't paid, and he's trying to appeal the decision, but I don't know, man. This is just not a good look in general, because at the end of the day, there's only so long you can stall out the courts. The courts, they're super by the book usually. And if they say, like, when you have, this is what I do know, and I hate court. I've never been to court for these things, but I have been to court before for just miscellaneous things. And at the end of the day, is if you disrespect the court's time, then they're gonna make you pay. That's what the long story short, that's what I've seen. If you disrespect their time, you waste the judge's time, because you have to keep this in mind. They got 100 cases that they could see per day or whatever is the amount. And then they waste time reserving the time for you, and you're not even showing up. You just you don't give them notice and say, hey, I'm not showing up to court. I'm stuck in traffic. And so they're going to look at that as a spit in the face to the judicial system and the court's time, and then they're going to come after you and punish it. So from my experience of the things I've went to court for, it gets nasty, and it gets worse and worse, and it gets real ugly if you waste the court's time. And I had something on my license at one point, I'm not afraid to say it at this point, where they suspended my license over it. It was a failure to appear, FTA, and a failure to pay. This was back in the day. I had that going on just because I didn't show up, and they look at that and they're like, all right, you don't want to show up? Cool. And then they just make all the decisions without you. And then if you get letters in the mail and then even you got to look at, even in America, even if you get summons for jury duty, if you do not show up, you could be fined, you could be jailed, all types of stuff. And that's just jury duty. So you have to take these things seriously. I don't know exactly what's going on with Broner, but this can't be good. You really have to. I feel bad for Broner, to be honest. I really do. Even though I know Broner, his behavior, I think Broner has a big heart and a good heart. So it's crazy to see the fall from grace, so to speak. Boxing is a terrible business. Let's just say like that. They don't have nothing in place for the fighters when their fall from grace is like this. There's no pension. There's no nothing. And I understand Broner's a grown man, and there's a lot of it he probably could have prevented by cooperating and or showing up and going through the due processes and stuff like that. But you got to feel bad just because a lot of these boxers, they really come from nothing. They come from the slums. They come from the hood. They come from the mud. And at the end of the day, when the going gets tough, it's just like boxing is the loneliest sport on earth. When Broner's on top and walking out with Kendrick Lamar and rapping on his way out and, oh man, AB, Arctic Bears, hey Pops, brush my hair, when he's doing all that, everybody's loving it. But then the beginning of the end was kind of when he bit off more than he could chew and he lost to Maidana, and that took kind of some of that aura away. And he's had legal trouble ever since then. And, it's important for these fighters. It don't matter if you're from the hood. There's a lot of people from the hood. You either have to educate yourself or get a team of people that'll help fight the battle for you, because this just looks bad. Broner, always being arrested and having these little issues. And then it's so many, they'll throw the book at you, man. It's that simple. Broner already has a couple things against him. He has a track record. He black in America, etc. And he's making poor decisions. So it's like usually not too much good can come from this. That's why you keep seeing him get arrested. And the thing is, if you don't handle, you got to confront your fears, and somebody on Broner's team should really be in his ear like, bruh, because there's times where he'll post something on the gram or it looks like he's at the club or whatever. He really need to get people around him that truly love him and they aren't there for just the ride and the fun parts, the yes men. And that's just what I see. I think Broner has a good heart. Everybody I've talked to says that Broner is one of them ones where he'll give you the sweater off his back, but poor choices and inactivity and things like that is going to be ugly, because then you'll end up, imagine having that stress, you fighting, but then you owe someone, you don't even know what your fight purse is going to be, because Gary Antoine Russell destroyed the guy that Broner went the distance with. And I understand Broner was on a long layoff, but all in all, if Broner's drawing power is not the same, and you got guys like Gervonta Tank Davis who have maybe taken that spot, then it's going to get rough, because who knows what your paychecks will be. And then Broner even said stuff like, hey, I'll fight on Triller or DAZN if I need be, and he's saying different stuff like that. So I don't know what the situation is with him and Al Heyman, and if people are going to be there to bail him out. So it's just a sad situation. You really don't want to see. I don't like to see this with boxers. Oscar De La Hoya and his demons, Ricardo Mayorga had trouble, Broner. And it's just sad because you see champions, they go through these perils, and when they're a champion, everybody's there. And then years later, or a couple losses later, or whatever the case is, a knockout later, then everybody just bails on you. So I hope Broner is able to get it together and get people around him that love him, that can probably give him the guidance. But the court system is no joke, and it's almost set up for you to fail. And if that's what you do, if you really want to push the button, they're going to help you succeed and make sure you fail. Like by not showing up, not paying this, not getting, lowering up and making it look like you don't care about their time. They're going to be like, all right, I got you. And then it's going to get to a point where you have to do a longer prison stint because you don't have the money to pay it, or, just whatever. This stuff, I advise everybody, whatever you're going through in life, confront your fears and face the problem, because running from the problem is only going to make it worse. That's really all I got to say. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if you like content like this and other things. I talked about Gervonta Davis and Rolly press conference. Subscribe, like the video, and I'm out.